Simon & Schuster Audio presents Ruby, Book 1 of the Landry Series, by V.C. Andrews, read by Carly Robbins. Prologue. During the first 15 years of my life, my birth and the events surrounding it were a mystery. As much a mystery as the number of stars that shone in the night sky over the bayou, or where the silvery catfish hid on days when Grandpere couldn't catch one to save his life. I knew my mother only from the stories Grandmere Catherine and Grandpere Jack told me, and from the few faded sepia photographs of her that we had in pewter frames. It seemed that as long as I could remember, I always felt remorseful when I stood at her grave and gazed at the simple tombstone that read, Gabrielle Landry, born May 1st, 1927, died October 27th, 1947. For my birth date and the date of her death were one and the same. Every day and every night, I carried in my secret heart the ache of guilt when my birthday came around, despite the great effort Grandmere went through to make it a happy day. I knew it was as hard for her to be joyful as it was for me. But over and above my mother's sad, sad death when I was born, there were dark questions I could never ask, even if I knew how, because I'd be much too scared it would make my grandmother's face, usually so loving, take on that closed, hooded look I dreaded. Some days she sat silently in her rocker and stared at me for what seemed like hours. Whatever the answers were, the truth had torn my grandparents to pieces. It had sent Grandpere Jack into the swamp to live alone in his shack, and from that day forward, Grandmere Catherine could not think of him without great anger flashing from her eyes and sorrow burning in her heart. The unknown lingered over our house in the bayou. It hung in the spider webs that turned the swamps into a jeweled world on moonlit nights. It was draped over the cypress trees like the Spanish moss that dangled over their branches. I heard it in the whispering warm summer breezes and in the water lapping against the clay. I even felt it in the piercing glance of the marsh hawk, whose yellow-circled eyes followed my every move. I hid from the answers just as much as I longed to know them. Words that carried enough
Sample complete. Ready to continue?